President Crawford, trustees, faculty, staff, distinguished guests, parents, family, friends, and graduates, it is an honor, truly, to join the University of Puget Sound community officially today as an honorand. I want to take you back to many months ago. The President's Office invites me to receive an honorary degree and give this speech. Of course I accept. It's an incredible honor, and I know my mom will be proud of me, which for some reason, even at my age, still matters. Fast forward to 3 weeks ago. The President's Office asks me for the title of my speech, but I don't usually give my speeches titles. And to be honest, I haven't even started writing it. So how am I supposed to know what its eventual name will be? And yet, we need the title of your speech, they tell me. If it's going to be in the commencement program, we need it now. Clearly, the 11th hour has arrived. So I do what any respectable UPS student would do and consult ChatGPT. Give me the title for a speech by Julie Lythcott-Haims that will inspire the graduates at the University of Puget Sound commencement. And within a nanosecond, the answer comes. What if you were enough? I like where this artificial intelligence is going with this. I think to myself, and then I think, do go on, and so I do. Write a speech, I ask ChatGPT, by Julie Lythcott-Haims to be given at the University of Puget Sound commencement called What If You Were Enough? Again, within a nanosecond or two, ChatGPT begins to respond. And it knows that I always speak for like an hour, and in a matter of minutes, it has written me this beautiful long talk. Then I read the fine print from the President's Office, and I see that a UPS commencement speech should be more like 10 to 12 minutes. What? 10 minutes when I'm accustomed to going on for hours? Maybe some of you in the faculty can relate. Okay, so I'm kidding about the AI. I'm a writer, and what I'm about to share is mine, and mine alone. And it is not my usual hour-long talk. Yes, I know you are relieved. Yes, I am not offended. Now that I've spent all this time dilly-dallying, I'll try to get to the point, which is a bit of advice to accompany you graduates as you make your way away from this special place. But first, I'm going to tell you what I think I know about you, because you should be wary of advice from someone if they don't seem to know or even want to know anything about you, which I guess turns out to be my first piece of advice. Students, here's what I think I know. For starters, at least for you undergrads, thanks to COVID, you were denied a proper high school graduation. So today is your first real one, complete with a real live speaker who is attempting not to let you down right now. No pressure. And thanks to COVID, once you got here to UPS, I'm told only one student was allowed to be in the communal bathrooms at a time. So you honed the very necessary but awkward skill of listening really well to determine if someone was, well, in there. And let's not forget the dreaded spit test. Come to the rotunda of the sub, you were told, and spit into tubes as you sit 6 feet away from each other. And you tried really earnestly to preserve each other's dignity by not looking at each other as your respective salivae fell into the tube. But I'm told your years here weren't just about spitting and listening for bathroom sounds. No. You were able to fashion a bit of fun for yourselves by stealing exit signs from dorms. I guess the doors here are really hard to find. Beyond these strange COVID times, I know that UPS students are passionate, determined, And the liberal arts impact means you're all involved in a multitude of things for which you're called and students, because you're this and this and this and this. And I also know there's a tremendous amount of grit here, likely owing to the important influence of Tacoma. And, not gonna lie, you're said to be quirky. Some might even say you're weird. I mean, I wouldn't say you're weird, but you know, some would say that about you. And that's okay. Because who cares what other people think when you know you are enough? Let's go there. The second thing to know is that the only thing you can truly be in charge of is yourself. You cannot change another person. Yes, they might in fact be changed as a result of your actions and interactions with them. But we cannot go out into this life expecting to change others. Like if I could just get them to change, everything would be fine. That is a fool's errand. But the tremendous good news I have for you is that you can be in charge of yourself, your actions, your reactions, your very sense of self, if you work really hard at it. And it is so worth it. I know this because I have traveled that journey. Let me let you in on that. I stand before you as a 56-year-old, self-loving Black woman. But I did not always feel that I was enough. You see, when I was your age, based on where I was raised and how I was treated, I was in a desperate free fall, trying not to be the stereotype people had of Black folk, but also trying to figure out whether I belonged in Blackness anyway, being biracial and raised in white towns. I flailed about searching for external approval because I did not love and accept myself as I was. I did not know who I was because society and strangers and teachers and even friends had signaled one too many times that I was problematic for the sheer fact of my existence. And slowly, like ingesting droplets of poison over time, I came to believe that they were the arbiter of the truth of me. Through my teens and 20s and even into my 30s, it went like this. Then finally, working at a university, working to help young people figure themselves out and become who they wanted to be, unfettered by the opinions and biases of others, I couldn't help but yearn for the same for me. So I worked with someone I trusted and did the deep work, developed a mindfulness practice to know my fears and my triggers, and finally, by shedding the ugliest snot and tears, I came to name the shame of what I'd been made to think of me. And having the guts to name it all, first to myself and in the presence of a trusted coach, I tamed it within me. And when the tumult finally settled in my body, what I finally felt was the relief and certainty of self-love. Having searched for belonging my whole life, I finally know that it starts within. So let that be my third piece of advice to you. And when you like yourself and accept yourself, well, you belong to yourself. And then here's the magic: you belong everywhere, because you take that self-loving self with you wherever you go, and it forms a protective barrier between you and whatever may come your way. And this self-love, it brings a bonus. You see, there are people you don't know, you can't even contemplate, who need to see you loving yourself exactly as you are. You being unabashedly, self-lovingly you, carrying the identities you do in the presence of someone else who is similar to you, can be life-affirming for them, maybe even life-saving. If, as I shared my identity struggle, there was a stirring within you, an inner voice that said, she's talking about me, she's talking to me, well then, I was. And if this is you, I encourage you too to do your work. Beyond this innermost thing called identity, there are other ways in which we might be judged. So now let's go there. Some of us are perfectionists. Nobody here, but people near here are perfectionists. We feel we're only good enough when we're performing well, and by extension, we feel we matter less, or dare I say, we feel worthless when our performance is faltering or when we're outright effing up. If this is you, stop that. Piece of advice number 4, you are not a better person when your performance is better, and you are not a lesser person when you falter. You matter because you breathe. And you will screw up countless times in life as I have, and you will learn from it and keep going. And let's talk about feeling judged for what we choose to study or do for work, because some of us are in pursuit of that air quotes right track because well-meaning others tell us they love us and only want us to be happy. And if we just pursue this major, this grad school program, this work, this identity, then we'll be happy and they'll love us. And who doesn't want to be happy and loved? But if you've been in hot pursuit of someone else's idea of the so-called right track, stop that. Piece of advice number 5, there is no right track. There is only the particular path that is right for you right now. And if you are on the so-called right track, but it is not the right track for you, even if you're good at it, paradoxically, you will feel like a robot going through the motions in your own life. So, seniors and graduate students, if you know in your bones that the track you are on is not the right track for you, you should get off it. Okay, but wait, now your parents are freaking out. Like, did the graduation speaker literally say that? Okay, so maybe try that air quotes right track for a few years. But promise me, if then you should feel deeply it is not the right track for you, get off it. Figure out the Venn diagram of what you're good at and what you love. Ask yourself what you would do, who you would be if they loved you no matter what. Ask yourself what you would do if you loved yourself enough not to worry about what others think. You want to be successful, admired, of course, and you think it's about your career and maybe how much money you earn. Yet when I ask about the people you admire here at UPS, I learn, for example, about a cashier named Young Mi who goes out of her way to know people's names and say a kind word as she's ringing up your food. I hear of a student programming staff member named Cerny who will always have your back when your plans go awry. I hear about a faculty member who simply treats you like you belong here and is so humble that I'm sure she doesn't want me to mention her name. But we see you, Nancy. You see, no matter what job you have in life, what position, what stature, these folks and countless others here at UPS have taught us that how you treat people is the true measure of your worth as a human. That's piece of advice number 6. So if you're going to insist on being a perfectionist, I'm going to say, fine, get to work on cultivating a perfect character. You are one person among 8 billion, no less important, no more important than any other. We are globally connected, yet we suffer from an epidemic of loneliness. Research shows that a smile at a stranger makes them feel seen. That thanking the clerk for being there, and even when they say it's just my job, smiling and saying, thank you for doing your job because it's making my day easier that you're here, shows that clerk that they matter. Can you do the work on your own rough edges so you do not trample upon others who, like you, are simply trying to feel that they are enough? Can you engage in the exquisitely human act of truly seeing others, holding space for their stories, their fears, their pain, and their dreams. I know you are enough for yourself, for others, for this broken world. Go be you. I am rooting for you. I am rooting for us all. Thank you.